Okay, so let's just dive right into this. If you're the kind of person who, the second you feel down, you immediately reach for the most heartbreaking song you know, you've probably had someone tell you to just, listen to something more upbeat. But for some reason, that sad song, it feels like a warm hug. Well, it turns out there's a fascinating logic behind this, and your brain is actually doing something absolutely brilliant, kind of like a chemical magic trick, to soothe itself.
It's a total paradox, right? Society is always telling us that the cure for sadness is just forced happiness. Just smile more, go out, listen to a pop song. But when you're in real emotional pain, your nervous system is way too smart for that. So what is actually going on when you reach for that one song that you know will just absolutely break you?
All right, first things first. Let's get one thing straight. This habit of yours, it is not a sign that you're stuck in some negative loop or that you're secretly trying to make yourself miserable. It's actually evidence that your brain is wired to process emotions in a completely different and, frankly, a much more sophisticated way.
So let's break down what's happening here, starting with the feeling itself. This isn't about wallowing in sadness. It's about seeking a very specific kind of comfort, one that feels just like a weighted blanket for your mind. But hey, this is more than just a nice metaphor. Your brain is actually performing an incredible chemical feat to calm itself down.
I mean, think about it. When you're in deep emotional pain, a super cheerful song doesn't feel uplifting. It feels invalidating. It feels like someone is just completely ignoring your reality. But when you put on a sad song, your brain experiences that as profound empathy. The artist kind of becomes a stand-in for someone who gets it, who understands, and that validation tells your nervous system that it's finally safe to let its guard down and actually process the grief.
Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called emotional regulation. When your own feelings are overwhelming and totally unpredictable, you reach for a song you know inside and out. You know exactly when the sad part is coming. You know exactly how it's going to make you feel. You are seeking a predictable emotional experience to manage a very unpredictable internal state.
And this just nails it, doesn't it? This isn't some passive habit of avoidance. It's an active, strategic choice for your own mental well-being. You are intentionally creating a controlled environment so you can process difficult emotions. It's a skill, really.
So the crucial point here is that you're creating this perfect self-soothing loop. You get the comfort of predictable emotional beats, which gives you back a sense of control when everything feels chaotic. Your sadness is seen, it's validated in a safe way, and that delivers maximum comfort with absolutely zero new risk.
But how does your brain actually pull this off? Well, to do this, your brain needs a very specific tool. And it's a trait that not everyone possesses in the same way. We're talking about your empathetic superpower.
Seriously, not everyone's brain can do this. Some people listen to sad music and it just makes them feel worse, plain and simple. But to successfully use art to regulate your own psychological state, you have to be able to connect with it on a profoundly deep level. And that requires an incredibly high degree of empathy.
And there's a really fascinating contrast in how this works. See, most people might hear a sad song, feel a little flicker of sadness, and then they just move on with their day. Your brain, though, it performs a much more advanced process. It hears the music, it downloads the raw emotion from the artist, and then it uses that external emotion as a tool to process and regulate its own internal state.
This happens because your brain is likely wired with traits like sensory processing sensitivity, which just means you're highly attuned to all the nuance and details in your environment. Your mirror neurons, those are the brain cells responsible for feeling what others feel, are incredibly active. It's like they're on steroids. You can read the emotional truth beneath the surface, essentially acting as an emotional Wi-Fi router, just downloading the feelings in the air. This right here is the key. You're not just a passive observer of the artist's pain. You are actively downloading it. You're absorbing it. And because you're feeling what they felt, your own pain suddenly feels seen, validated, and just a little bit less lonely.
So the next logical question is why? Why is your brain wired this way? Well, this isn't an accident. It's actually a survival skill that was hardwired into your nervous system, most likely from a very young age.
This high level of empathy often develops in people who had to become experts at reading emotional environments early in life. So if you grew up in a home where things were a little unpredictable, your nervous system didn't break, it adapted, it got trained.
You learn survival skills that most people never, ever need. You learn how to read the texture of silence, to notice those tiny little shifts in someone's tone of voice, to sense the emotional temperature of a room the second you walked into it. Your survival depended on your ability to anticipate emotional shifts,
And that whole process built you an empathetic radar system of incredible power.
So the progression is pretty simple. Step 1, your brain learned that emotional intelligence was a key to survival. Step 2, it built its entire operating system around that hyper-empathy. And now, as an adult, that exact same system is what allows you to form this profound connection with art and use it as a powerful tool for self-regulation.
This is just such a powerful metaphor for this whole process. Your emotional depth and insight, they aren't there in spite of your past, they are there because of it. Your ability to navigate emotional storms has made you a lighthouse for yourself, and probably for others too.
Okay, let's put all of this together. When we reframe this habit not as a weakness, but as a highly advanced skill, it just changes everything. This is the art of self-soothing.
So, let's circle all the way back to that original question that society loves to ask. Is this a sign that you're just wallowing, that you're stuck in your own misery and refusing to move on?
No, absolutely not. It's a testament to your emotional depth, your empathetic capacity, and the incredible resilience of a nervous system that learned how to turn a survival skill into a source of comfort and strength.
And it all comes back to that brilliant chemical trick. See, when we experience real emotional pain, our brains can release prolactin, which is a hormone that provides this comforting, soothing effect. By using your empathy to connect with a sad song, you are basically tricking your brain. It registers the vicarious sadness from the music and releases that exact same comforting hormone, but you get to skip the fresh, real-world trauma. You are literally chemically self-soothing with art.
So the next time someone gives you a look for listening to sad music when you're already sad, you can tell them you aren't wallowing. You are performing a highly advanced form of emotional regulation, and your brain is just brilliantly extracting the comfort it needs to heal.
This whole thing is so fascinating, right? And now I'm genuinely curious. Tell me, what is your ultimate go-to sad song when you are really, really going through it? Drop the title in the comments below. Be honest, this is a safe space. And if this explainer finally put words to a habit you've never been able to justify, please hit that subscribe button so we can keep decoding all the incredible things your brain does together.